faith center in the scripture.
That's right.
He did. But there was a motive for him changing these things. There was a motive. It was. Matthew 24. Now let me get there, please. Look at verse 23. It says, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here, Christ, lo, they be, believe it not. Look at verse, better yet, go down to another verse. I want to just show you some of the things that was speaking to his time. Look at verse 6 of Matthew 24. You have the word, see, I have the word. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars, as see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay. Now what does the Assemblies of God interpret this to be? The upcoming end.
Right.
Yes.
What do? We say, get ready for it to happen. What else do we do? Oh, by the way, I've got this building project for $8 million. Please give to it.
Right.
I'm like, hold it, brother. Hold it. Stop, rewind, or pause. If he's coming any minute now, why do you need $8 million for what? The Lord told me I'm going to have a new wing for what?
That's good.
You can send that money right here to RIM.
Amen.
Look at verse 13. Look at verse 7, rather. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Look at verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And it says the end so many times in that chapter.
Yeah.
The end. But again, it was the end of the old creation. It was the end of the Jewish world. It was the end of the law, the Old Testament. It was the end. In fact, sources also say that the gospel began at 70 AD. Some would say. The New Testament, some say began 70 AD. In other words, after Jesus is coming, and the judgment of Scripture that was spoken of, the desolation and the destruction of Jerusalem by Titus, 1 million soldiers that sacked Jerusalem, that was all prophesied. But people take Daniel's 70 week and they put it all the way, 2,000 years from now?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this. He spoke to his generation. He spoke to the early New Testament church. And we flipped that thing by taking these scriptures and making it into kingdom postponement.
Yep.
Kingdom postponement. Look at another one, verse 14. Verse 14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. By looking at the surface of that, you would think for a moment that that makes sense. The whole world. But you've got one thing though. The known world back in their time.
Yeah.
It went to the whole world.
Yes, it did.
I remember how the scriptures confirm in the Old Testament how God had answered the prayers of Israel and how that he has met every one of their needs. Not one of them fell to the ground. God did everything he was supposed to do until the United Nations recreated Israel as a nation in 1948. And we call it the biggest move of prophecy there is. We call it the greatest prophecy there is, and the sign of it's coming. And you love them where you are. You'll preach, you came to them and love them where they are. But see, hear me carefully. When God killed something or put a closure to it, why are you trying to wake it back up again? Because of that, the Palestinian wars. You know why? We need to watch from our hand being put upon some things. And the same thing happened in the Azusa period after the post-Azusa. Some brethren, I won't call the name, I already did actually, decided they would put their hand on this move and steady the move. And guess what? When they did that, they died doing it.
That's right.
That's why they have to have so many meetings where they get drunk in the spirit and fall out and they get tipsy. You know why? Laughter, because they touched something it wasn't supposed to touch. God wanted it to be what? Like a wildfire all over the nation. But instead, let's organize this thing. Let's make it work for us.
They did.
They did. They did. Question. Does it make any sense for Jesus to talk with his people in his time if he really was referring to our time over 2,000 years? Huh? Does it make sense to make a promise to someone in your time? They got to wait for it over 2,000 years more. Okay. Matthew 24 and 15, you hear about the abomination of desolation. You hear about the many wars and things between 30 AD to 70 AD,
Yep.
and particularly a war from 67 AD to 70 AD. And you'll find, if you read the scripture carefully, now this is just an opener for a moment, but it takes time to realize is that these things were fulfilled. And if they are fulfilled, what are we doing now? What's going to happen? If Jesus was resurrected and we are what? If we died with him, right? Then we resurrect with him, right? So we have to realize is that the purpose of this is to become it. He did it, but now you become it. You become what he came for. You become it. Okay, let's go on today.